welcome to World of Tanks. Today we're in the Grille 15, the replacement for the Waffenträger E100. I have a few examples I could put up for this one, but I've chosen this particular replay for a couple of reasons. One, because as a comment in chat that I have noticed, but it hadn't appeared on any of the others, but I have noticed it crop up, not necessarily when I've been playing it, when I've seen other people been playing it. You see the odd comment, especially once they've been killed by one, about this tank. So and an ARPA2 mate gets one of them a little bit later on. Also, this is his first game in it. He hated the Waffenträger E100. Getting him to play it was impossible. So I talked him into giving this one a go. I figured he's a Hellcat. He loves playing his Hellcat. It's not a Hellcat. It doesn't play anything like a Hellcat, but there are some characteristics of the tank that you can say are similar. For instance, speed. It does 60 kilometers an hour, does 20 in reverse, which is actually what the Hellcat used to do, but it doesn't anymore since the nerf. But this one does, so you can poke with it. It has an awesome aim time of 1.4 seconds, so you really can poke with it. You can stick your head round the corner, get the gun on, aimed in quick, and boom, yeah, and then back it out the way nice and fast, which is a great thing to do. It hasn't got great concealment, this vehicle. I can't remember the exact numbers, but I think it's something like 16% stationary base concealment. I think it goes to something like 14 or 13 when moving. Once you fire though, it drops down to 1.3 or something like that percent, and if you put that against, say, the tier 9 version of this, I think that drops down to about 6%, so it drops down a hell of a lot. So yeah, once you fire this gun, everyone can see you pretty much. But it's a monster of a weapon. It has 279 average penetration. If you're using standard ammunition, goes up to 334 if you're going to use premium, and HE has 75. Mind you, if the HE goes through, you'll get something like 1,000 damage average, around about 1,000. Whereas if you fire AP or premium, you'll get around about 750 average damage, but obviously that's give or take. If with a decent crew, you can get the damage per minute on this to around about 3,000. 3,161 is what it's showing in the garage when I looked it up. That's what it's telling me this tank is capable of, and obviously that's average, so it can do more and a little bit less. The armour on this thing, you're very mobile, but it's only got 30 millimeters at the front. That was a small hit. I don't know, he must have fired possibly HE, but that would have really hurt. Anyway, it's got 30 millimeters at the front, 16 at the sides, and 20 at the rear. So we can get a shot. We got that Centurion 7-1. Took 3 shots to get him. I think we missed one, but I'm pretty sure the first one hit. But I mean, that's one of my favourite tanks in the game, the Centurion 7-1, and the reason I love it is because when you got it hold down, the top of the turret really does bounce shots. So we've got an object to our right, we've got a pattern who, because I pulled away when I was spotted, hopefully he thinks I'm not there anymore, and he's looking the other way, had his turret turned to the side, and looking at the mini-map, he's got a T10 coming up from behind him, so I'll poke him, but I don't think I'm going to pop over. I'll let the T10 have the 221 damage. So we've done a total of 3 shots so far, and one of them was for well, would have been a low roll compared to this tank. 334 we did on the Centurion, but for 3 shots we've done 1,800 damage, which I think is 750 average. I think this tank may get a nerf. And the comment where I'm thinking about, we will be coming up very shortly. If we look over on the map, Custard, I'm working my way over there now, but Custard's got himself surrounded, which one of the things he used to hate on the Waffenträger, because then you was defenceless, was this. There we go. Overpowered shot. You see a lot, not necessarily that exact comment, but you see a lot of comments like that of when you're driving it, or when you'll see other people driving it. So he thinks this gun may get nerfed either with the reload. I hope it's not with the reload. If they bring the damage down a little bit, I could live with that, I suppose, but I really hate long reloads. My reload at the moment is just over 14 seconds. For Brothers, it's I think I got one crew member away from Brothers in Arms. He's on 99% with something like 16 games to play or something. I think that's my last shot of the game. By the time I get reloaded, the last player will be gone. And that will bring it down to just under 14 seconds, which is bearable. So we ended up with 5 for effect. That's at least we got something, I suppose. We finished mid-table. Wasn't a fantastic game. We fired 6 shots. We hit 4 and penetrated 4 for just over 2,000 damage. And for Custard's first game, if you look over at him, he was very happy with it in the end. He did 5 shots, hit 5, but only penetrated 4 and did just over 1,700 damage. So for his first game, he was a hell of a lot more effective than I was in particular. I did more damage, but he was just in there and amongst it. I mean, even surrounded at one point and survived, and he was very happy about that. So that's something you just couldn't do necessarily in the Waffentrager.